Chanukah, dancing, music, lavish meals, gifts, beautiful tablescapes, decorations, lights, gourmet food, and lots and lots and lots of festivities. Is this what Hanukkah is all about? Hanukkah has been redefined in our time. It's not about the gifts. It has nothing to do with giving each other lavish gifts, having a lavish cuisine. It has nothing to do with these because Hanukkah is not about the physicalities in life. Hanukkah is so incredibly special and precious and is full of so much kedusha and holiness that it comes down to us during the regular days, during the 8 days, during the days, the work days that we have, that we're doing and making things happen, so to speak. Hanukkah is so precious. You know, when we fill our brains with gifts, tablescapes, parties, and gifts, the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, is having a field day. He is laughing all the way through because now he has us distracted. Because I am focusing myself on everything that's not about Hanukkah. Hanukkah is holiness. It comes down to us so that I can tap into my true self, yearning to connect to my Creator. That's what Hanukkah is all about. When you light the Hanukkah candles, please do two things. One of the things you want to do is you want to take time to look at the Hanukkah candles, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes. You just want to disconnect, to truly connect to your Creator. Disconnect. Pour your heart out. Tell Him all your dreams. Tell Him all your wishes, all your aspirations, all your wants. Tell Him everything. Thank Him for everything. And connect to Him. Connect to Him in the truest way. The second thing you want to do is you want to really carve this time out and not think about anything else. Because what happens is we have so much brain space, and it's a certain amount. And if we don't tap into it, what happens is it gets compromised, and we don't fully impact the holiday with our prayers as much as we can. Know that with the Hanukkah candles, redemption can come at any time. It didn't make sense how the Jewish people, how they won over, how the Hashmonaim, how they won over the war with the Greeks. It didn't make sense. It was such a small army, and in the Jewish history, it's always a very similar lesson that we learn, that Hashem creates miracles at any time. It's the righteous against the corrupt. It's the few in the hands of the many. It's the untrained in the hands of the ones who are so qualified, and the most amazing armies and expensive artillery, and we have none of that, and Hashem saves us, and He will always save us. That is His promise. So remember that your redemption can come at any minute. Whatever you're worried about, whatever you're thinking about, know that even though it hasn't happened for years, that it wasn't time yet. Continue praying for it, continue wanting it, because it could come at any minute, at any time. Our redemption can come. You know, Hanukkah is always around the Parshat of Yosef. In many ways, our sages say Yosef could have been our forefather as well. It didn't make sense how his life was from great to bad to worse to really bad to unbearable, and all of a sudden he became king of Egypt in a second. And when his brothers saw him, they were petrified, and how calm he was about it, how he wasn't even angry at them for selling him into slavery, because he said, you didn't make things happen. You think you sold me into slavery? You're big enough to make something happen? Remember, nobody's big enough to do anything. There's no authority in your life. There's no person in your life who is able to make anything happen. If anything has happened in your life and you feel anger, you feel resentment, you feel pity on yourself, it's not because they did anything. It's because this was the way that was meant to happen for you to connect to Hashem in the most greatest way. We want to remember, when we look at the Hanukkah candles, to remember not to worry. To remind yourself that the redemption doesn't have to make sense. I don't have to be all ready for the redemption. It could happen at any minute. All I have to do is to want and to connect. And my perseverance to be close to my Creator, despite all my pain, challenges, is bringing Klal Israel, the Jewish people, closer to the ultimate redemption. Hanukkah always coincides with the parshat of Yosef to teach us this important principle. He was the only one against the corruption of Egypt. And it always teaches us the defiled is in the hands of the righteous. It didn't make an ounce of sense how he became the king of Egypt. Yet, Hashem can make anything happen. The Jewish people have always come out on top. Yosef's life can be a blueprint to us. Everything that happened to the Jews was due to the suffering that Yosef experienced. Yosef is rewarded for the suffering that he endured forever. The suffering that he endured is actually for us, the Jewish people. We have benefited from his suffering. Now, did he choose to be the one to do this? No. If Hashem would have asked him, Yosef, you're going to go through so many years of suffering, and I'm going to reward you in the end, would Yosef probably have said yes? Probably not. We don't know. But when we are given circumstances in our life that are not to our favor, that are not what we want, we have to know that this is what's meant for us, what's good for us, because your Creator loves you more than you will ever love yourself, and He knows what's good for you. So we celebrate Hanukkah with two miracles. What are the two miracles? We celebrate the victory of the Hashmonaim. It shows us that we are completely above the nature. We are completely above nature. Hanukkah reminds us of the 8 candles. 8 represents being above nature. 7 corresponds to 7 days of the week. So 8 is going above nature. So when you go above your nature, Hashem will turn the world for you and turn nature around in order to make your wishes come true. So when you're happy despite sad circumstances, Hashem will overcome nature for you. And anything that you do that is not a natural reaction, it's supposed to be jealous and you're happy for the person, when you're supposed to be angry and you're accepting and you're understanding, when you're supposed to have resentment yet you're helpful and you're forgiving, when you're acting this way, when you're actually internalizing this, not just acting it out, when it actually has become a part of you and this is your response to life, Hashem will overcome nature for you. He knows how hard it is for you. And if you are really feeling it, your pain will be rewarded. And that is Hashem's promise. The victory of the Hashmonaim teaches us that science does not run the world. Technology does not run the world. Hashem's Torah runs the world. And this victory has proven and showed us that Hashem will always take care of us. Hashem has given us the Torah. That's why there's different time zones. Because the time zones, there's always somebody learning Torah. There's always somebody getting close to Hashem. There's always somebody praying. So the Torah makes the world go round. The second miracle was the oil that lasted for 8 days. This is Hashem's response to us saying, come here, I'm going to give you a kiss. I'm letting you know that I'm really recognizing and noticing how hard you're working. Your efforts are recognized. You went so far, and I want to let you know that I notice and appreciate all that you have done. Here, you stretched for me, I'm going to stretch the oil for you. It doesn't make sense how such little bit of oil lasted for such a long period of time, but I can do anything. You stretch yourself, I will stretch nature, I will stretch circumstances for you. Hashem notices you and Hashem appreciates you. The little that you do, whatever isn't seen, Hashem sees everything. You have nothing to worry about, and Hashem changes the course of history with the littlest action that you do. So, what is the littlest action we can do? It could be the way we conduct ourselves, the way we think. We are changing the world. I mentioned many times that I'm a public school teacher, and I was actually, walking in the hallway one day with a bunch of teachers, and one of the teachers was very, very upset, and she was using very profound language, and she realized I was next to her, and she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Meaning like I shouldn't have used those words, and then she started not cursing, which gave me a message that she has realized that to overcome her nature, she can do that too. She can also not talk like that. She can also become bigger than herself, because it is definitely possible to do that on any level. All she needs to do is try, because it is possible. The definition of a perfect life. What is a perfect life? Is a perfect life one of answer A? Money, prestige, power, honor, awe, jealousy, like you're making everyone jealous, everybody's awed by you and the way you look and what you have and what you acquired. Is that a perfect life? Answer B, having family, having health, having nachat from your children and from your grandchildren, meaning having happiness from them. That's answer B. And most good people will say answer B. A perfect life is just me being healthy, is me having family, is me having happiness from my family, from the children, my grandchildren. There's something very wrong with the first two answers. We do not control that. There's nothing a person can do to say that he makes his money. He really doesn't. He can practice all types of efforts and not become rich. If he is rich, it's because Hashem wants him to be rich. It's not because of hard work. There's many people who don't work as hard as others and they make more money. It doesn't have to make sense. Health. A person can be very healthy and God forbid die at a very early age and die very suddenly. So health has nothing to do with a perfect life. Having nachat from family and friends has nothing to do with it, because we don't control the type of family that we have and the type of children we have and grandchildren that we have. We don't control that. This is given to us as a gift. We did nothing for that. So these two answers can be very depressing and sad. What is the answer that David HaMelech had given us, that King David had given us? What is the true perfect life? The true perfect life is connection to your Creator, is wanting to be close to Him, attributing everything in my life that I am going to serve you. I am going to serve you by being the best that I can be, by connecting to you. So if I'm very rich and I don't lack a thing, I can easily become arrogant, selfish, very proud of myself, and easily dislike others because they don't know how to do it and they don't have as much and they're not like me. If I have so much, I can be a different type of person. I can say Hashem gave it to me to be helpful to other people. To me, so that I'm the shaliach, I'm the messenger to use the money wisely so I can give it away. I can be helpful. I am that messenger. If a person does not even have the basic necessities in life in order to survive, they can also be healed by connecting and being close to Hashem, because they say, this is what I need to serve Him. I'm going to do the best that I can. It's not because I'm a failure, or because I'm not educated, or because I'm not talented, or because I don't come from an amazing family, a rich family. It has nothing to do with that, because I don't control anything anyway. So they are actually tapping into their true connection to Hashem and being close to Hashem, our God. We have to be aware that there's a magnetic force of the earth, and this is actually a message of Hanukkah. There's a magnetic force in the world. If you are a religious person and you look religious, you can actually be very far from God, very far from Hashem. Why? Because you walk the walk and you talk the talk and you do things robotically without thinking. And that's actually extremely, extremely horrible, because I'm not internalizing what I'm doing. I'm not putting thought into what I'm doing. I'm actually becoming a magnetic force to everything around me. The secular world teaches me to love things. The more stuff I have, the better life that I have. If I'm beautiful, I'm in. I'm likable. I'm a good person. If I'm rich, that means I'm successful. Money is a very tricky thing, because money can come as a blessing. That's why we say parnasat tova. We wish you a parnasat tova. Or money can be, God forbid, not a blessing. Hashem just gives it to you just for you to leave him alone. So just because a person is wealthy doesn't mean that that money came as a blessing. You don't know. You can only wish for that, and you hope to have that yourself, that money comes as a blessing to you. And money comes as a gift to you, not because you deserve it, because you want to serve Hashem with abundance in a beautiful way, to give more away to other people. So we want to learn from the Hanukkah story that the Greek people lived a one-dimensional life. Beauty is beauty. Why would you want to focus your life on beauty? One day, all my skin and bones are going to rot in a hole, all my flesh. If I'm going to invest my life on being beautiful on the outside and not working on the inside, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to rot in the ground and I'm going to be forgotten. What do you want written on your tombstone? What do you want written? What type of person was she? Was he? What type of person was they? Were they kind? Were they generous? Were they forgiving? Were they flexible? Were they a helping hand? Were they sweet? Were they always sensitive and looking out for the good, looking out to do good? Or were they selfish? Were they rotten to the core? These things are not written on tombstones usually. But what do you want written on your tombstone? You know who you are. You know who you present to be on the inside. You and Hashem, even if nobody sees it. So we have to understand that Hanukkah is about overcoming your nature. You overcome your nature even if you never thought you could be patient. You never thought you could be calm. You never thought you could be happy. And you are happy despite circumstances. You are forgiving despite circumstances. And you are flexible and you are kind despite she never helps you and you always help her. No matter what, and you're happy to do it and you don't regret it. We must understand that may we be one-dimensional to God, that there's only one thing on my to-do list. One thing on my to-do list is to be connected to my Creator, to serve Him with everything that I have. And I don't need anything. It doesn't come from me. I didn't do anything to acquire what I have. May we serve Hashem, our God, in a one-dimensional way, being totally committed and dedicated to serve Him. On a practical level, let us ask ourselves, in what ways am I pulled materialistically, and in what ways can I instead be closer to my Creator? Appreciating the insights of Rebbetzin Esther Baylor Schwartz, may we merit to internalize that although I don't know how long I'm going to live, may I really truly tap into how I'm going to live. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming.